Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I believe in you, Dave.
Yeah. All right.
Oops.
Cool. We did it. We're live.
Yay!
Hello.
Yeah. Coming to you live from the power of the internet. This is Humblewood, Electric Dice Podcast, session the first, titled Fire in the Forest, because I know at least that much is going to happen. So we have 2 hours, and all I have to say is what I already said. Humblewood, Zach, do you want to do a quick little pitch on that? Because I think you know the most about the game.
Yeah, I can just go ahead and say that Humblewood is an offshoot of D&D 5th edition, where instead of playing as humanoid, like humans, orcs, dwarves, and elves, you're instead playing as, like, anthropomorphic heroes of, like, various bird and hedge folk people. While it's a little bit more cutesy in design, it still follows the same rule set, which makes it, like, very intense to play, and it also offers, like, a lot of interesting changes. Adding a couple class archetypes as well as a couple backgrounds and feats make the game a little bit more interesting, in my opinion.
The only thing I really
I'm a bird.
The only thing I really care about is there's a feat that lets you steal in combat whenever you succeed on an attack, and I might just lift that for my actual campaigns because that's hilarious.
So, like, I think, like, if you don't like the bird and the animal stuff, it's tough to get through this book, but once you get through that and you look at the backgrounds and the archetypes, like, they're actually pretty solid. The one about the bandit that left his life of crime, but they're still hunting him down was really cool. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in this book.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. Thank you for that pitch. Appreciate it. Okay, so we are going to get to know our characters very quickly. I'm going to give them this forewarning that they need to think about what their characters are doing 2 days before the game actually starts. You're going to get a brief little vignette about what nonsense you're doing in whatever town we're in. I don't think we're in the main town. I believe we are evacuating from that big tree, or evacuating to that big tree. Everyone should have the ability to look at the handouts. The mysterious note, which I cannot crop now, which is annoying. Hold on. Let me...
It's sideways.
It's very sideways.
It's super irritating, isn't it? Yeah. And then on the screen... Yeah, so the... Well, I can't even ping on this version. Yeah, this was terrible. I thought using it as a handout would be genius. I was like, oh, then we can just pull it up whenever we need it. We don't have to, like, have a map dedicated to it. Nope, terrible. So Alderheart is... the big tree in the center where everyone's going to be evacuating to. Down here, if you're looking on stream, I apologize, this is the smallest map in the world. The Scorched Grove, the Ashen Woods, I don't know, I can't even read it, but that's where there was a huge fire in universe. I think it was like a generation ago, or like several generations ago. For the purposes of our campaign, the fires have started up again. It's not good. There are fires. And they are beginning to move through whatever. I would assume that this is known as the Humblewood because, you know, then you say the thing. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, nailed it.
I
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I said the thing. Yeah, so we're in some small village, probably something to the tune of like 400-ish creatures between the birds and the humble folk. I don't remember its name. I can look at my notes in a sec. We're going to turn that off because otherwise it's just very glaring. Yeah, I got the right one. But yeah, so think about what your characters were doing before, like, word actually was like, we have to leave this city right now. Things are bad. The fires are coming. And I will regale you with my opening scene. And I have to double check the name of a bird so I don't say it wrong.
Do you want us to go ahead and give, like, our character, like...
No, I'm gonna give you one little. There's gonna be one little scene. So, like, the opening credits would play. It would say, you know, Electric Dice Podcast brings you Humblewood, blah blah blah, and then so we see I thought they were like jackadaws or something. Now I can't find the right word for them.
Wait, that sounds right. Actually,
yeah. I thought that's what it was called, but now that I've got the article I was looking at, it's not coming up.
Jackdaws.
Jackdaw, is that what it is?
Yeah, yeah.
So there was a funny little article I read as I was like doing research for this game, and it was "Do black kites start fires?" And it's there's growing evidence of these birds that will pick up branches that are on fire, fly them to a different set of woods, throw them down, and then wait for the little animals to run out of the woods and then eat them.
My God!
Yeah. So yeah, jackdaws, black kites, whatever term you know them as, there are these awful nasty birds. So that's what we see. We see 3 or 4 birds kind of like backlit by this like massive flame, and they're all like poking around and cackling to each other and everything. And the flames swell and they form something not entirely unlike an owl, although it is very much flame. It is very much ethereal and elemental, right? And it just kind of like, the whoosh of flames goes over the camera, and it says, "Let my fire burn. See that it grows and is bright," right? And it's all shot all badass and everything with like this lower aperture. And then the birds are like dancing back and forth, right? And one just goes, "Rah, that's right! Rah, oh yeah!" And then they're all like laughing to each other. And then they one by one grab a branch and fly away, right? And as they're kind of flying, they're breaking off in different directions and dropping these flaming branches onto the woods. And, it says 2 days ago, right? So that was 2 days ago, as is this. So we cut. And who would like to go first, describing what their character was doing before things got bad?
I can do it first.
Sure.
Talon has been doing his normal duties of as acting as one of the peacekeepers of the Great Beast. He's basically just been hunting down stories of like mischievous creatures in the woods, which is what he does like in his day-to-day. So like he spent the last 2 days like on the hunt for one of these like thieves of the Humblewood forest that like stole like from the food stores of the Great Beast.
Oh yeah.
And he's been sent to go hunt him down, and he's like Talon's been tracking him for days, and he's a relatively solitude bird, or is that the word, right? Solitary. He doesn't really like talking to other animals unless it's the Great Beast or like anyone at all, and he's just been hunting through the woods.
Okay. Cool, absolutely. So we just, we see him stalking, and right, we get his, badass splatter screen where it says his name and everything.
Yeah.
And he's just like pondering to himself, what are the tracks of the animal that's like he's following?
They're like footprints or like hoof prints. I guess that's the better word. Footprints is like not a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I will say once again for our purposes, the world, humans do exist in this iteration of it. They do not come to the Humblewood if they were ever here. It has been a long time. But there is like this understanding that somewhere we're pretty sure they exist or did exist.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm taking some liberties.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, saying it's a footprint doesn't help the situation when you're talking about animals.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a footprint, we're in trouble. Guys, the humans are here. Yeah.
But
okay.
It's like
cool.
a medium-sized, like, he sees the hoof prints in the ground, and then he sees, like, broken bushes that he's, like, going through. And every now and then, like, he's stopping next to the ground to lean down and, like, check the indents to see how deep they go.
Sure.
And he's got this, like, bow that's strung across his back that's basically taller than he is.
Mm-hmm.
And it just looks like this heavy, gnarled, like, bow.
Okay, cool. No, I like that. Mike, I'm going to try and make your name a little bigger. I'm sorry if this doesn't work.
It's all good.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
I can jump in real quick.
Okay.
All right, so we find ourselves... we span in on a big old avian city, right? And there's a sign on a giant building that says, I didn't come up with the name of the university, but something Avian University, right? Yeah. And we zoom in.
Go birds!
We go flying through the university, and then like up this set of stairs, and up and up and up, way up into the high attics, because most of these places have a lot of higher rooms, right? We go all the way to the top. and there's a door, and we zoom in on a couple of Luma folk who are somewhat, they're either pigeons or doves, depending on exactly where they come from. And they open the door, and there is a old, pretty overweight Luma, like shuffling through some papers, and he's like, "Huh? What? Excuse you can't come in here." And one of the younger Lumas says, "I'm sorry, sir. Our funding ran out. You have to go." And he's like, "But I've been part of this establishment for 30-some odd years. You can't. How dare you?" And they're like, "Sir, please don't make us call the guards. I started this university. Sir, you have to go." And then the door shuts, and as like the Luma folk are hopping down the stairs, he kind of just looks at the door sadly, and he's like, But where will I go?"
Damn.
And then the scene fades out.
That's so good.
Please join Artibus High Plume on the worst day of his life.
Yeah.
Our man's just got fired from the Bird Academy.
He's looking incredibly despondent because his his life's work has just been destroyed, and then it says Arbudius like in the intro credits.
Yeah.
That I wasn't expecting that.
That was good. That was good.
That was good.
Cool. All right, who's next?
I'll go.
Yeah.
So, Katarina is a mercenary, but there isn't always a whole lot of stuff to do, so she'll take bounties on things, and pretty funny if she is taking a bounty at the same creature that Zach is hunting.
So are you there with him, even though he's not happy about it, or are you just also out in that area?
Out in that area,
Okay.
looking for the same clues. You know, we'll run into each other eventually.
Sure. So, I mean, something that you can also... Zach and Mike talked a lot about where they were and what they were doing. If you want to describe Katarina a little more, you could do that. You know what I mean? Because we could just say, you know, we see a very similar visual backdrop, but instead we focus on your, like, tools of the trade.
Yeah, she has a short sword at her hip and a shield on her back. She's probably going up into trees to get a higher vantage point, looking down.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So all nimbly bimbly, like, got it.
Does she have a hat?
No.
Oh man, I was hoping for like the tri-corner hat.
Oh, that'd be good. Okay, cool. Two more. Oh shoot, we lost Riley too. We had him.
Oh, I disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh, sugar cubes.
Amanda, do you want to go next?
Okay. So I'm as ill prepared. Okay. Yeah. So I'm a Marpack, but instead of being the typical raccoon figure you see, I'm of the Marpack group that looks a bit more like opossums.
Mm-hmm.
And my character's name is Onion.
Are you an onion knight?
No,
No.
I actually am a deserter of the Coalition, which is the bandit faction group that kind of like does all the shady stuff. But I left the group after doing some time in the Alderheart prison.
Damn. And when you say deserter, you mean you like sweets?
Yeah, like I love sweets.
Yeah, like candy.
Yeah, candy.
Candy. Okay, but
Candy.
you did time too, jeez.
Yeah, I did some time. I went down for something that I didn't think I had to go down for. Not being high up the chain in the Coalition. But I did some time, and I left, and I'm just trying to stay like under the radar from the group. They don't know I left, but I left.
I mean, that is typically how being a deserter works. Although at some point they do discover that you left.
Yeah.
But, you know, like hopefully you're out of town by then.
Yeah.
So where do we see you, or where are you when this is going down? Like, are you trudging through the woods? Are you slicking about town?
So I'm about town. While in prison, I got a little, not religious, but like there's not really much you can do in prison other than like reading and stuff.
You can work out.
Yeah. So I kind of troll the I don't know if they're like local churches or places of worship.
The book, the campaign setting has actually several gods. That's one of the things it really goes into. So you don't have to go too much into it now, but you fell into the worship of something, or
of Hoth.
Oh, Hoth.
Hoth.
And what does Hoth believe in?
His dogma is be crafty, be cunning, be careful, death is everywhere, but heed my words and you can evade its grasp.
Holy hell, that is some shit. Cool, very good. Are you like very religious, or is that like a mumbly kind of thing you do in the background?
It was there for comfort. It's not like forefront, but
Okay, cool. No, I like it.
Oh, I was muted. I was saying it's an Easter and Christmas Hoth. Like you only practice like socially, but like
socially and on holidays.
God.
Yeah.
No.
And if I'm in trouble.
I do carry around a little like trinket for quote unquote luck. It's shaped like a little raccoon, so it's like a little Hoth trinket.
Ooh, was it fashioned by unknown hands, or was it fashioned by the people?
It was something found during acquiring things that weren't mine.
Did you try refreshing, Riley?
I did.
Okay.
I'm good.
Well, I'm just gonna wait a little while then, because I have everybody else. I feel like if I try and do it, I'm gonna lose more people.
Everything will break.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it normally goes. Okay, well, when you are ready, you are the last one up.
All right. Well, guess we'd head to a tavern that's jam-packed, filled with mice. They're just scurrying everywhere, drinking, having a good time. A lot of them are wearing little sailor outfits. And you see my character, Gus. He's a tiny little, somewhat rotund mouse in another sailor's uniform. He's got that tricorn hat and a little caveat. He's got a rapier at his side. And he's just drinking and having a good time with his friends and family. He typically sails with them with what feels like an ocean, but it's really just lakes and rivers for the most part.
The known universe.
Yeah. And they pretty much just transport goods to and from like harborside towns and villages, and they're just taking a break.
Nice. Okay.
How big is the boat?
It's big enough. It's like a clown car boat where you can fit many mice in it.
I was gonna say it's like it's the size of like a paddle boat, and then you just see 30 mice come rushing out of it.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking it's like one of the RC, right? Like little speedboats, but there's like 9 of them on there.
And there's like a whole bunch of like crates on the back of it weighing it down.
Right, yeah, it's just bottomed out. That's good. Yeah, that seems about right.
Nope.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So we got a little glimpse of what everyone was doing, maybe a little about their personality, a little about their history, maybe a little about like how they have, accentuated themselves. And that was not the like before time in the strictest sense, but like things were good. There may have been some rumors swirling, right? What is it? Is it Artibus? Arbutus? How are you saying that?
Arbut.
Arbutus?
Arbutus?
I thought.
Mike, how do you want
Mike.
your name pronounced? He muted us. He thinks we didn't notice.
Aw.
Yeah, I agree.
I
Mike.
muted myself on Discord so you couldn't hear me typing, and
Oh.
forgot that's where I muted myself. And kept fucking
Hey, we
with
see
my
Riley.
mic.
How do you want it pronounced?
We're gonna go with Artibus because I forget the other pronunciation.
Yeah.
And say Artibus. Artibus High Plume.
Shouldn't
Yeah.
the T be where the B is then?
I mean, I might have even spelled
Oh,
it
it's
wrong. but-
Arbutus.
Arbutus. Arbutus
It's
is
Artibus.
fine. Artibus.
Artibus.
So Artibus in particular, you would have at least been moderately aware of. There's some stirrings. I mean, if I pull the mysterious note up to the south, but in essence, to the west, right? And there was what did we decide? There was a group of what was that group that went out after it?
Go ahead. I don't think we named them, but they're a group of young Gallus.
Oh, yeah. So there were 3 Gallus that went to go investigate, and that's a thing we may follow up on a little bit later. Like, there's some rumors swirling that, like, some shit might be going down, but we cut to 2 days later, right? We got the preamble, and then whatever's going on, this fire entity is sending out jackdaws to light the woods on fire. 2 days later, there's full pandemonium in whatever little village that all of you seem to have stumbled your way into. Zach, are you formally part of the law, or are you like this kind of weird in between thing because it's a bit of a frontier area?
Yeah, I'm kind of like more like a detective in that he doesn't do normal police work, but he just operates under like the Great Beast. So
Okay.
like if the Great Bear says, "Hey, this person stole from us, go enact street justice," like it's that kind of thing.
Just
Okay, yeah, because we talked about one of the. And I did a brief primer on the lore, right? But there's a great owl, right? One of the great beasts that keeps an eye on things, and his name was
The one I went with, Chalamet.
So Chalamet is currently standing in the middle of town, and people are loading up the sick, the injured, and the wounded onto his back, right? And he's like, right. He's like, how many are left? And whoever's in charge of the town is like, oh, we got most of them, but, there's still a few left. You're telling us to flee and to evacuate much sooner than we anticipated. We thought we had days. He's like, I'll be back in 3 hours. Have them ready then. Right? And he's like being helpful, but he's also being kind of callous, right? And then, we would cut to, all of the party members are in town square. Now, you don't have to be in the center of it, front and center, being talked to, right? Like, you can be in the seat back, kind of creeping around. You could be, trying to get FaceTime. You could be climbing up onto the back of this guy, trying to fly away with him. Might not go well for you, right? But there's an eagle in the middle of the town. Just earlier this morning, the announcement came down that everyone needs to leave town. You have to be out by today. People will be moving en masse. Towards Tree-City, whatever that fucking name was. Alderheart? Did I say that right? Alderheart.
Alderheart, yeah.
Yeah, everyone's heading that way, which, if you've read the book, that kind of seems to be, it's in a perpetual state of every refugee ever. It's very crowded, very hectic, and they're just adding more to the pile there. So there's a moment here where if you want to interact with somebody, you can. If you want to see somebody, you can. If you want to poke somebody in town and be like, what's going on, you can. But you're all in this little village right now for one reason or another, but everyone's being told to leave. Does anyone have anything in particular?
I think Talon is at the edge of the encampment, looking out to see if he can see into the rest of the woods if anyone's coming. He's trying to make sure that if the refugees are still running into town, that he can help direct them.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I actually think hold on, I gotta grab my notes. Yeah, they're definitely, because there's a few, the town guard is 7 people and somebody that just got deputized this morning, you know what I mean? It's not much. They might be on the frontiers, but this is very much like an adventuring town, right? Like it's kept safe because so many people are coming in and out all the time, and the average town person can take care of themselves. Shoot, that's not the list I needed. Sorry. Yeah, but there are a few guards, and there would be what are the humble folk, the deer? What the heck are they called?
The servant.
Servant. Yeah. So there's a servant, right? Just kind of like leaning on not like a bespoke warhammer or anything, but like more than just a club, kind of looking out not too far away from you, named Stein the Rover. And Stein kind of looks over to you and says, "There's still a few more out there. They didn't make it."
What do you mean they didn't make it?
And I apologize because I've already forgotten the name of your crazy bird thing. Because I thought you were making a joke of Calamite from Dark Souls.
Oh, Chalamet. No, it's off of Timothy Chalamet.
Okay, so I mean, reference yes, just the wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and Stein just kind of goes, he nods his head, right? He hasn't broken his gaze. He's like, Chalamet only gave us a day to prepare. Some didn't want to come, but they dare not speak.
If they're still out there, we need to go help them. He's like unslinging the bow from around his like shoulder and like putting it in his hand.
Yeah. Do you want to roll an insight? Maybe persuasion?
Yeah, I can roll persuasion. Maybe.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I'm really bad at this. Oh, I guess I'm not.
Fucking hell, dude. You got a crit. Yeah, he's like... most people would know you as Talon, right?
Yeah, that's his, yeah.
It's his Christian name.
Yeah, well, it's, when he grew up with Chalamet and the other great beasts, that's the name that he was given, is the Talon that will grapple the sun.
Yeah.
And he goes by Talon.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if, like, the world knows that, or that's a thing you know, where he's like, you more than anyone may be able to do that. The rest of us, pack up camp, guard the overland travelers. Everyone's heading to Alderheart, but you may have the freedom. Let me speak to... Yes, I think that we can organize this, if you're willing. And you see he's like all of a sudden very hopeful. He was like very resigned that I'm not happy about this.
If there's still people out there, we owe it to them to save them. We might have had a day, but they've had even less time to prepare their lives and move away. It's time to go help.
Yeah. Yeah, he nods. Nice. He nods, and you'll get you're getting +1 to your faction renown with them currently.
Yay.
So I guess to kind of frame the scene that I'm looking for here a little bit, to me, we're very early in the game. The group, not necessarily, but at least every individual needs to decide if they are someone who is going to help with the relocation effort, in this kind of travel, or if they are someone who sees an opportunity or going to seize it, right? Like, there's chaos and people are leaving things and stuff and money behind, right? It could be time to get that stuff and things and money. Or you could be like, I am a good person, I will help them.
I'm a stuff and money person.
I'm gonna go ahead and just sign up early for stealing.
There's a great moment in Over the Garden Wall where they're like, let's ask the horse for his opinion. I want to steal.
I want to steal.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, you know what I mean? Like, that's an option. I'm sorry, Clem's being very needy. He wants attention.
Just because I'm not with the coalition anymore doesn't mean I don't steal things still.
Yeah.
You're gonna be famous. Look. Hi, Kitty.
Hello!
He hates it. He really hates it. He's very upset with me now. Say hi to the entire internet.
That's where the cats live.
Yeah.
No internet for me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh. There you go. Sorry, buddy. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, so, Onion, do you want to take the next scene then? Because, like, no one is paying attention. Like, people are like, they are all but being thrown out of their houses by big, powerful deer folk as they're like, get on the owl or the eagle's back or start walking. Right? And this is like, you're not being raided, but they're like, you will die here. The fires are coming and we can't stop it, so you need to leave. You know what I mean? There's no room for arguments.
Yeah.
Like, you can resist or resisting doesn't last long, I guess is the way to phrase it.
Yeah. So I want to say I'm not even in the mass area where they're like directing everybody. I've just been like skirking around the alleyways and staying out of sight and doing my own thing, listening to what's going on.
Yeah, you're around it, but you're not taking part in it. Because you're like, wow, everyone is here, and look at that, most people are leaving. That's a house, I'm gonna go look.
Yeah, so as they evacuate an area, I'm going to the spot that they just evacuated because they're not going to come back. They already told everybody to leave.
Yeah. Alright, so you're first going to roll a stealth check, because there are still some amount of guards and people empowered by Chalamet to do things and also stuff. Damn, look at this party. Getting cruising. Okay.
We good.
Yeah. So, are you I mean, Zach, I didn't even catch this. I imagine the game has to have money in some capacity, right?
Yeah. I actually think it basically uses the same system. Because like you can't do a D&D setting without money.
Sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it had changed. Yeah. Cool.
The currency's acorns.
Is it really?
No, I don't know.
I wouldn't put it past it. Fuck. Like,
Yeah.
That's everything. That's create a new tree. You know, that's you're ticking all your boxes in one go. Okay. Yeah. No, that's really good. So, Amanda, I need you to roll me a D3. 3 will be the best roll.
2.
Okay. And then you're going to roll 1d6.
6.
Dang, okay, that's really good. Yeah. That is going to give you a total of 20 gold pieces, or 20 acorns, whatever you would like to call it. This is...
Pieces?
Oh, wait, sorry, silver. Yes, thank you.
Okay, because I was going to say, I have 10 copper based on creation. Said 28?
No, 20 total.
20.
I might have said 20 even.
Okay.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm just like...
Yeah, this would be representative of maybe a few houses, loose change, maybe a few, simple trade goods that got missed and everything.
I am waiting for the local bar to be dispersed.
You're waiting for the local bar?
Yeah. After they evacuate it.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I did not consider that. John just brought up an excellent point that no one can see the rolling.
Oh no!
I foolishly forgot about. That's what I get for using a new overlay. So yeah, we had a crit 20 for Zach's diplomacy, talking to the deer person, and then Amanda got an 18 on her stealth check, so successful.
It's funny because charisma is a -1 for talent.
Yeah, no. He had good insight on that. He made a sound argument to a lawful man about the duty that a government has to its people, or whatever. Cool. Yeah. So you're slinking around successfully. No one has caught you yet. What is everyone else doing? And you can kind of think about it just in the sense of like, are you helping and aiding people, or are you capitalizing on the madness? Or I mean, you can pitch something else, but that's kind of the two camps I see.
I feel like this could bleed into the clearing out of the local tavern, because that's where me and my family were, like all the little mice kind of like standing up a little bit to the eagle. It's like, hey, we were drinking here. Yeah, we were drinking here. And then the second he gets a little bit aggressive, they're like, we're gonna drink this way, and then we just kind of like leave.
Yeah. So would Onion be like, "Hey, you guys gotta go. Everybody's clearing out. They said you gotta leave."
Yeah. So it's like not even a dude that came up. It's just Onion be like, "Hey, like you gotta go. Like they told me to tell everybody to leave."
Right, and then all the mice are giving you pushback, like we ain't interested in this, and then Chalamet stomps once, right? Says,
"Yeah,
who's left?" Right, with his authoritative voice, and everybody's like, "We'll drink over here," and they take a few bottles and run.
Yeah, he's like, "Look at me, I'm helping out. I'm gonna wander around and help get people to leave too."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Possum pouch overflowing.
Just I jingle every time I walk.
Mm-hmm. So Gus, as you're kind of taking the scene, because one of the things that we're going to have to establish is why is he not going with the rest of his crew, right? Or are you done? You're immediately splitting up from the party, and you're going to run your own mini campaign.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Gus grows 10 feet. A book appears in it. I feel like us and stuff, we might like just start scurrying away. We'll be like, "I'll meet you at the point," and stuff like that. We're kind of gonna split up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're cutting out a little bit.
Uh-oh.
It sounds like you're saying you're letting them go on ahead for some reason.
Yeah, I think it's because I really enjoyed choosing one of shiny. It's not that I'm bad and I want to steal. It's I like shiny things.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if I see something, I get distracted easily.
Sure. Okay. Why don't...
Especially amidst all the chaos.
Yeah, Is it just me?
Am I cutting out still?
Yeah, you're cutting out. I can hear it too.
Yeah, no, you're
gosh dang.
Yeah, you're cutting out from bad doors. Go ahead and roll a perception for me, though. Okay, cool. Narratively, that works really well too because that beats Amanda's stealth with Onion. So you leave and then you double back. You're like, I wanted to finish my drink. Blah blah blah. And then you come back and Onion, what are you stealing in the bar?
I'm like on the not even on the other side of the counter. I couldn't even be bothered to walk around. I'm
just
leaning
your grubby
over.
Little fingers.
Yeah, like I'm just like reaching over to their little money box underneath and just like pulling it out and like shaking it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gus, what do you do?
Alright, so I don't know.
You're cutting out.
Apparently, I'm observing Onion stealing right now.
Yeah, you just walked back in and Onion's like slumped over the bar, grabbing and stealing.
Presumably stealing.
Seems pretty likely that they're stealing because they're not the owner.
Hey, I don't think that's yours. Put that down.
So I stop mid-shake and I turn and I'm like, I think for a second. I'm like, I'll share it with you.
Say it again.
One more.
Riley.
Can't hear you.
We might have lost him.
Well, he wants us talking.
We can see him moving.
He's talking so much, but I can't hear him.
He's actually just doing this.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
Am I still? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Well, I just heard it cut out, but
Yeah.
God.
Just put your microphone inside your mouth and then talk.
That's not the issue.
I think it's connectivity issues.
Yeah. I mean, the Discord on my end looks pretty good.
put the internet in your mouth.
That actually works. Yeah. Use your head as a receiver. Okay.
So, what do you respond?
Yeah, because Onion was like, "I'll share with you."
I ref-
Did you say you're refusing?
yes, I refused.
And
This is gonna
then
go well.
I go,
Yeah.
more for me, and I just like shoved like
The
shoved
whole
it into my
box
pocket,
goes.
like right into my pocket pouch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa! That's so bad. You should not do that.
It's like it's gonna burn down anyways. Like the things are on fire. I'm saving it.
Guards!
Okay. So we've got 2 more to get into. We've got Katarina and Arbitus. Whatever we decided.
Squid, you want to go or you want me to?
Whichever.
Okay, I'll jump in. Artibus does not fall into either camp that Dave described.
Of course
He
not.
he is in the third camp of he is standing in exactly the wrong place, and just like herds of humble folk are like pushing by him, and he's like, "Excuse me, just stop it!" And he's just like he doesn't want to go. He doesn't really understand what's happening. He hasn't really been out in the sun in a long time. And everyone's like, "Come on, old man, hurry up!" And he's like, "No, he's just like ruffling his feathers, and just like his books are getting knocked everywhere, and he like bends down to pick them up with his beak, and then he just like looks up, and everyone's gone.
Right, by the time he's gotten everything arranged.
Yeah, and he's like, I never such rude folk, and he's just like looking around, like utterly lost, and like just in the middle of town, somehow completely ignored, and just like, well, I'm not going with those assholes.
Okay, yeah. So I think what ends up working really nicely then is like the only thing you would probably see, because the time's a little weird on this, right? Like Chalamet would have left with the wounded, but all that would be kicking around is like the last few guards who are like formally like talking to Talon, like, okay, these are the people we know got missed, right? Like this problem, this here. So that's like, oh look, people.
I can interact with the guard real quick. I have a
Sure.
Yeah, if a guard's like, you need to get out of here or whatever.
I mean, I think they'd be looking at you right now, and yeah, like if you look actually confused, which you probably do, they're like, all right, old man, you got everything? You ready to leave?
How many guards are there?
There'd just be one right now.
Yeah, I think he turns and like puffs out his feathers and is like, "Excuse me, you heathen! This is my town. I've been here for 30 years. I don't do what your folks say."
Oh, so he's that kind of bird.
Oh, he's racist.
Yeah, he's a bit stuck in his ways.
Yeah. So one other thing to jump on real quick, because I'm completely fine with it either way. I had gotten the feeling from you initially that you were part of a big organization, and then they kicked you out, and you just wandered.
I think.
So
I think
you can be from this town, but I thought you were a new arrival here, and they were immediately ushering other people away.
Yeah, so I think he got kicked out of the institution and didn't know where to go, so he went back to his hometown, which is
okay, yeah.
which is this town, and he's like, "I'm not leaving."
Right? Yeah. He's like,
this is the only other place I know other than the university.
Yep. No, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. So he kind of narrows his eyes at you, and he's like,
"Yeah." Artemis thinks for a second, and then his like wings span out a bit, and he starts cooing, and has the special ability to cast Charm Person once a day as his Luma feat.
Good old mind control, session 1.
Yeah. Get a little.
Okay.
How does the spell actually work? It must make a wisdom saving throw.
Sure.
I was gonna say, you just like dance around and do a little bird dance.
Yeah, it's just like, coo, coo, coo. It's just...
Seems pretty low.
Yeah. Is it against my base charisma modifier, or is it?
It would be 8 plus proficiency plus spellcasting modifier.
Yeah.
So
If
probably
you
like
look
a
at the
13 or
spell part-
14.
Yeah.
Yeah. So charisma is my modifier, and I actually have 18 charisma. So
Yeah, so if I would roll against a 14, so I failed.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I think.
right, he narrows his eyes, he breathes heavily once, and he's like, "If you won't do it for me, I understand. Times are scary, but the whole place is going to burn down, and even someone as powerful as you can't stop that.
Aw.
How can I make this comfortable for you?" Right, and he all of like the frustration and the sarcasm that was coming is gone.
Yeah. He his feathers get a little unruffled, and something that when this charmed person comes out, it's actually him just getting super flustered, and he doesn't know or need to do it to somebody.
Yeah, because it's intrinsic. He just
And it's actually how he's gotten along so well for so long, because he's an actual just complete curmudgeon, but people just warm up to him, and he just expects that to happen, and he's like, I'm glad we're closer to the same page. Now you listen here, young man. In my time, I've been through a great many turmoils. This will be nothing. This will pass. Just never mind me and go about your business.
sure.
Shoo now, shoo.
Right, so he's your friend. He's like, although he doesn't know your name, right? And he's like, I can put you with some people who are going to be here for a little while, but in a few hours, Chalamet will return, and you know he's going to be very mad if anyone's still here.
Well, then I shall deal with Chalamet when he returns. Please put me with these fine folk who are brave enough to stay.
He's not, of course, yes. Come with me. Right, and he starts walking. He's like, Talon, I've got one for your group. This is my friend. And then we do that thing where he's like, who the fuck are you? Why are we friends? And we cut. So, Squid, what do you... Oh, sorry.
Artemis's chest puffs out, and he gets super... He's like, Artemis, Plume! Excuse me, Artemis High Plume.
Mike studied pigeons all afternoon for this.
That's the best I can do. It's the best I got.
Yeah, so we caught right after the... Excuse me, High Plume.
Just slips out.
So, Squid, what are you up to?
Katarina is helping herd people out of harm's way, carrying anything that they for people who can't carry as much, and getting them ready to get onto the eagle.
You're doing the good one, yeah. Is there anything in particular we see? Anything you want to describe, or it's just good Samaritan award?
Well, she seems gruff about it. You can't get paid if everybody's dead. So, but little kid trips, and she'll scoop him up and put him back on his feet and kind of usher him along.
Sure.
Kid falls. You're dead. Wait.
Tosses him overboard. Okay. Yeah. No. I mean, I think that makes sense. So, your scene would probably be, real quickly. We would pair you up with Talon pretty early on then, because the guards would be more or less we've got to, if you're really looking to do some work and you're not afraid of the fires that are coming, there's a few people who weren't able to make it into town on time, and they'd be asking you, Katarina.
Yeah, she'd definitely be for helping them out.
Okay, cool. So right now we're in two groups, because Artibus is meeting Talon and Katarina, and then Gus is yelling at Onion and calling for the guards, of which there are very few people left. So I think let's do the three. Let's do that scene, and then we'll bring you in and collide into Gus and Onion. You can do it in either order, right? They both kind of are brought to you. These are people who say they're interested in helping.
If Katarina is a bounty hunter of sorts, I think we were saying, Talon knows of you, and so I think when you walk up towards him, he just like nods his head because he's really respectful of like the hedge folk, and he just like, "Are you coming with us?"
Talking
Yes.
to Katarina. Yeah.
I'm glad that you'll be on our side. At least one of us will be able to fight, or at least one of these guards. Yeah, yes, I've heard about you. He gets a little flustered.
Aww.
Yeah, and then Artemis walks up to him and does that whole. Mike, you want to do it again?
He's just woo woo. Artemis High Plume, at your service. It's like he's a pretty fat pigeon. Like you've seen him walking around downtown Syracuse.
Oh, is he the one missing the leg?
No, he's not. He's not that one, but he's the one who like goes up to that fountain and just like settles himself in, and all the other pigeons are like,
Come and pay homage. This is Moss. Moss is the other good boy.
Hi, Moss.
Yeah, he's very upset with me. He doesn't want to be up here.
He's famous now.
Yeah, they both are famous. Simon used to come up sometimes. He doesn't like the new boys very much, so.
Same. Not those cats, but like the concept of the new boys.
Yeah.
Hi,
buddy.
I think Talon looks at High Plume and just goes, I think all the Loom already left. You should probably head along with them. You can probably catch up to them.
Right, and we smash cut to,
Excuse me, young man. I don't think a specimen of your age is at any place to lecture one such as myself. I will stay right here. Thank you very much.
Look, I don't deal with your kind very often, but you're on our turf now. You look below you and you're on the ground, right? Down here, you pay attention to what we say and what we do. If you can't handle that, you might as well head on along. And he just is trying to walk away from you because he has a very bad taste in his mouth when it comes to other bird folk.
Yeah, I think Artemis is like, he thinks to argue, and then he just like sees you start to waddle off, and he looks back and sees no one else, and it's like, say now, we can make this work, and just paddles on behind you.
Yeah.
Not so fast.
We're like walking up to the other buildings to try and clear them out, or like that's what Talon's trying to do, and you're just waddling after him.
Yeah, just like pecking at the dirt.
He's like, I'm not done arguing with you. That's good. Okay. Yeah, so I think that they've pretty much like, okay, you're going to do this thing, and they've got a few points of interest that they want you to cover, but they'd be getting together like a little bit in terms of like trail rations for you, and a map. And then, so as you're clearing the last of the buildings and everything, you can hear somebody yelling, guards, guards, guards! You're not supposed to do that, guards! Or whatever exactly it was that Gus yelled.
I think Talon looks to Katarina, nods, and then rushes to where he hears that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys like inside the building?
Yeah, we're inside the bar.
Right at the doorway, Talon like has the bow in hand and he knocks up an arrow, and he's waiting for Katarina to come reach up to the door.
She comes up right behind him.
Artemis is running behind you guys, and like when he starts moving, you ever see those pigeons who like they like flap their wings a couple times, like nope, can't fly, keep stumbling, and then just like rolls through the door. It just crashes right past both of you.
Yeah, like we were stealthy.
Talon just shaking his head and then moves into the bar with the bow still raised. What's going on here?
Guards, thank God you're here. This creature keeps stealing cash from the register.
It's like, it's not even keep stealing. Like, how can you steal it multiple times?
Right, I was gonna say, like, is Onion, like, shoved into a room somewhere? Are you halfway out a window? But, like, the fact that you're stopping to argue the definition
like,
of stealing.
Yeah, it's arguing back, like, didn't even try to run. It's this little tiny jelly bean. Like, what is it gonna do?
It's true.
Well, I don't care who's stealing what or who's been stealing what. You guys got two options. You either move along and head home, and no one will think about how much gold is in your pockets, or you're coming with us. Either way, you gotta leave.
I mean, I'm ready to leave.
Yeah, like let's get. I'm good to go. Come on.
I don't want to go with this no good thief.
It's not even thievery. They left it behind.
I still have the bow like drawn and raised at what is your name? Onion. Yeah. And then like it's like darting towards the cash register so that like if Onion goes back for anything else, he's just gonna shoot the cash register and pin it to the wall.
Right, I mean, so we see that, right? And then we do the other perspective from Onion, and you can, like, the whole cash register is in the pocket.
It's in my pouch.
Yeah, which, I mean, you wouldn't see that necessarily.
Yeah. It's like shoved in there, but where you think the cash register is, you're trying to protect.
Yeah.
And Onion's like, yep, no, it's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm good to leave.
Alright then. The way I see it, you just paid for your own commission here. You're gonna be helping us along, and we don't have to worry about any payments or anything. So you got a fat stack already.
You don't really notice it, but I'm already like next to you and nodding.
Yeah, that's
And
right. Keep an eye on you, you thief.
Yeah.
You cut to inside the box, and it's like 2 coppers. And I'm like, fair, I guess. What are we doing? We're leaving?
No, we're heading back in. We gotta go help the last couple of people get their stuff ready and here to meet Shalabay.
And my ears just perk up at stuff. And I'm like, yeah, let's get them out of here. I'm like over enthusiastic about it.
I like the idea of Onion, who likes to steal everything, and Talon, who has to go mete out street justice when people steal things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of balance in this game.
And
Excuse me, could one of you fine folk help me up?
Oh no! Here, let me help you. And I just struggle to like get him up.
It's like the biggest battle we have. Is you trying to like,
oh, you're mostly feathers. Oh, jeez.
Katarina just watches.
Onion like walks over to you guys and just kind of like shoves Arbitus on like back off his side.
Aw, just like casually as she walks by.
Yeah.
Check your pockets.
Never had to deal with folks like her at the academy. Jeez. Eventually he gets up.
Talon just trying to like beg and plead some of the servant to come with him instead of this ragtag like team of expendables behind him.
Actually, file the like I'm going to kill myself squad if I have to work with them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, you get your pile, and everybody kind of trundles back to the center of town where it's been a couple minutes since you left, and they've got like a real simple map as well as they would have had 3 backpacks at the start, and now they're like, or like knapsacks and everything. They're like, we can scramble a 4th, yeah, and he says something. Somebody runs away to like go break off a few more rations and everything. And they put the kind of map out a little bit, and I'll doctor up the mysterious no onto like an actual page next session, just because I'm not gonna even try fighting with it right now. But
I downloaded it and then rotated it so I could see.
Yeah, no, that's smart. I should have done that. Oh, this is annoying. Hold on. I think if I do my 1? Yeah, at least that's a little bit. Yeah, so they're going to mark off 3 different points that are kind of close to the Scorched Grove and the Ashlands, but, you know, somewhere between where the fire is incoming and where you guys are currently. And you're somewhere kind of in this direction, in some unnamed town that the game doesn't really care about, but is perfect for our purposes. You have 3 names that you were given. So Blute is one of those porcupine folk, which I think is technically what Amanda is.
No, that's just a hedge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's a Mumpak.
Gotcha. Yeah. I got their stats squared away, but I didn't remember to copy all that stuff over.
So his name is Blue?
Blute.
Blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blute, as in with a T at the end?
Yeah.
Well, with an E, but yeah, Blute.
Oh.
Blue tea.
No.
I thought he was German.
It's just Blute.
Alright, Blue.
And then, once again, one of the deer folk, who is Blayir. Blayir.
Okay.
Blair?
Blair.
Blayir.
Blair's got a blade.
Yeah. Very subtle.
They're hedgehogs, not porcupines.
Yeah, wait.
Well,
I
this one's a porcupine.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I mean, technically, Blayir's a yak, but we're gonna use the deer stat block.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even in the book, it says that, like, while this might, like, the servant is deer, it's actually, like, a whole set of races that are all called servant.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's the same thing with, like, the possums, and the raccoons. They're all Mopaks.
Yeah.
It's like weasels and stuff like that, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he taps on the map and he's like, if you really, you know, you're going for everything, you can try talking to old Swisslid, but you know how well that works for everybody.
Swisslid.
And anyone who's from here or has been doing work here can roll a history on that one. So
I want to roll a history.
Yeah, definitely Squid, Zach, and Mike. I don't know.
Yeah, is he old?
Yeah, he's very old.
Okay. Then, yeah, we'd have a shot.
Yeah, he would have been old when you were a kid. And now he's like... if you hear that name, you're like, fuck, I thought he was dead. Like... Yeah.
Yeah.
Well...
I'm not from around here. I wander around.
Yeah, and then what about you, Riley?
Am I rolling history?
Are you from here or are you from elsewhere?
I am not.
Okay, yeah, then you're just leaving that alone. Yeah, so, you know, Zach and Squid, that is very representative of the fact that Swisslid has, under no uncertain terms, told people that if you come to my little, you know, river, my lake, whatever he considers it, he's like, I will eat you. Like, I don't care. I will eat you. Do not come talk to me. I'm not interested. I'm not in the birds, not in the humble folk, not interested in anybody. I'm miserable. Leave me alone.
What kind of creature is he? Do we know?
He's a snapper.
Ooh,
Oh, God.
He's a turtle.
And then, Mike, you would have, like, just as Artibus, you would have some context for 30 years ago Swisslid, right?
Yeah.
You remember... You can confirm that he is, in fact, a snapping turtle, because people could actually talk to him 30 years ago.
Right.
And you seem to remember, like, oh, I'm surprised he still has the place. He had... You don't remember if it was a son or a daughter, a cousin, right? He had somebody with him, and you're like, oh, that's who I expected was going to get the place, right? And that's really all the information you have.
Okay, cool. Do I remember, like, did I ever have, like, a conversation with him or something?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, 11 is still not a great roll. It's just enough
Sure.
to unlock the next level of stuff. I mean, if you want to say,
fair.
yeah, I met him once, that's fine. I guess that could be why you know he's a snapping turtle. But he wasn't social then. There wasn't an outright, like, I will eat you 30 years ago. He was just like, leave me alone, I'm grumpy.
Yeah, I think, like, because Artemis does this thing, like, he thinks he knows it. Even if he doesn't know it means
sure.
he knows a slightly different thing very well that is
Right.
wrong.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah,
So
I mean,
it's
if you want to be like, yeah, I remember him, that's totally cool.
Yeah, I think he makes, like, a comment about, like, not really interacting with those types, but I remember a turtle always snapping about. I always had something to say.
It's true. Cool. Yeah, I mean, so they've given you, like 4 or 5 days worth of rations. They're like, it's not a ton, but if you can supplement it a little bit and make the decisions. Don't stay too long. There are only 4 bags though, so there are 5 people. So you have to.
I think
figure that
Talent
out. Good
takes
math.
his and just like he takes the knapsack that they give him and just looks at Artibus and tosses it to him.
Yeah, and he just like expects it to. He's like, doesn't say thank you, just like takes it in.
Already eyeing the food.
Yeah, his little beak's pecking around in it. Like, what do we have here?
So halfway through the bag.
It's like, I didn't know there were off-brand Oreos.
Oh, you guys handing out rations there? I'll make a few good berries if you need them.
Ooh. Are you offering it to them, or are you offering it to the party?
I mean, both. If the party needs it, if other people need it. I don't know how many. I gotta look up good berry.
Yeah, because I mean, even the guards would be like, he's got magic. Hey, Eve, right? And they're like, oh, yeah, berries. Magical healing berries that'll make me not feel like shit and fuck up for a day.
Yeah, the magically delicious.
Christ.
Wait.
As they're dealing with that thing, Onion's like walking up to the dude to get a bag.
Yeah, I mean, technically there's 3 still over there, because only 1 has been claimed.
I go over there and pick one of them up for myself.
Right. And they just sort of look at you, and you're new here, but you can tell he's like, is this a thief? How obviously are you a thief? On a scale of 1 to thief.
So I walk up and I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Like, I'm so excited to be helping everybody over here.
Right. And they're just like immediate insight. Like, I don't know about you. Okay. I mean, that's not a great roll, really. They just look. Give you the
You gotta
squinty
keep your eye on this one.
Right, and they nod and they look at you and they're like very gingerly, right, hand the bag. They're like, we expect this back when you're done.
and I'm just like, thank you so much. And then I walk away, and then I'm like rifling through it to see what's in it immediately.
Right, and in your inner monologue, you're like, how am I going to return the food, idiot?
Yeah.
You won't want it when I'm done.
Like they said it because they felt like it was tough to say to a thief, but like they didn't think it through.
No.
Yeah, it's food, and it's like, I don't know what you're expecting from me.
Right, it's such a shitty guard thing to do. You better get that back, and it's such a thief thing to be like, you want the food back? And they're like, yeah. Just double down on pointless arguments.
I'd also like to take a minute to like kind of like turn away and try to break the thing open so I can get this box out of my pouch.
Oh, yeah. So you stumble away for a moment to do the thing.
Yeah. I'm just rifling stuff at this point.
I say, sir, there's a distinct lack of seed in this bag. Can perhaps one of you has? And he like looks at the guards.
Right, and they're just like,
should be a bit more.
Like,
a bird of my stature is not used to such meager offerings.
Yeah, I mean, I think because you have a friend, right? And he's like, let me see what I can find for you. And they're like arguing, and you're catching part of the conversation. He's like, who the fuck is this asshole? And he's like, no, it's cool. It's my friend. And then he's like, what the fuck is his name? And he's like, we didn't conscript them. They do. And he's like, no, let me I'll run right down there. That's the store. Like, hold on, I'll be right back. And it's like, you can't steal from. And he looks at the thief.
And then I'm like coughing, thief.
Right? Yeah.
She drops the cash register onto the ground.
He's like, he did
it. What's in this thing?
You have, what did I say, 4 days of trail rations?
Yeah, but what's in the box?
Oh.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Roll a D3. Okay, so it's silver again. Go ahead, roll a D6. Okay. So that is a total of 11 more silver.
11 more. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not 2 coppers, so that's good.
Yeah.
And then I just like kick the box away from me.
Sure.
Also, I am actually casting Good Berry and giving everybody some.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all the guards are after it, that's for sure. Like, if you're handing them out, everybody stops. Because it'll fill them up for a day, and heals them.
And then I look at Gus expectantly and also apologetically.
Berry, not an acorn.
The berry is the copper.
I'm a nice guy. I'm expecting better behavior from you. Here's the berry.
and
Don't spend it all in one place.
I want
it's
this
just like
back.
as soon as it hits my hand, it's in my mouth. And then I'm like, thank
Hit
you.
your hand in
I'm,
the
like,
tongue, just...
Yeah, and I'm like chewing and saying thank you at the same time.
Cool. Alright, yeah. The guards are pretty happy with you. Let's see. Mike, your best friend, is going to roll with advantage to search out some seed for you. Oh, yeah. He comes back with like a hefty bag, right? Like 5 pounds of quality seed, like 5 days worth of seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes out. He's, it's got, I don't know, what do we think, like a fancy burlap sack of seed, like what's emblazoned on it, right?
It's got like a dove instead of a pigeon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's just racist.
That's it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
No, it's like it's just no.
No, it's accurate. It's
pretty.
definitely yeah. It's premium.
Birdfolk society is racist as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely is. Yeah, and Artemis is a pigeon who thinks he looks like a dove, so he's just like, that's the good stuff. That right there. Yep.
Yeah.
And then he
Does he get a little pat on the back?
I think
No.
so. Artemis doesn't like deer. He doesn't like deer and he doesn't like roosters. Those are the two races he hates the most.
Sure.
So he's just like, better than I expected, but still a ways to go. And takes the bag.
Right. Yeah. He hands it off. He's like, always the Joker. That one. Yeah. You're welcome for that expensive seed.
Artemis shakes his head and then just goes woo and just like downs like a ton of it.
We should
Just, like,
keep
spilling.
going before you destabilize the whole economy.
That's good.
Yeah, he's ready.
Cool. All right. Does anyone want to do anything else in town, or are we taking off for our first adventure?
Oh boy.
I think Talon is like he pulls out his walking stick that he uses to like get over stuff, and he's just like walking away and shaking his head and wondering how many days he has left before one of these people gets him killed.
Oh yeah. It's a real question, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's not if, it's who.
Yeah. I will say, so Blair is actually the close one, the deer. He's like a little over a day out. And then Blute and Swisslid are both, they're not in the same direction. So you can pick one and then go into the other. But you're going to have to choose because, based on how many resources you have, and the fire will be moving inward towards you as you do this. So we don't, strictly speaking, have to decide right now what you're doing first. You know what I mean? Because any one of the three are pretty much in the same direction for our purposes. Unless you want to be like, we immediately go overland, do this as, but like if you're following some of the roads, which will make travel easier, the way I've kind of conceived the map is such.
Is it through like the forest or is it like through like open land?
You'll be in the forest for most of the time. To get to
Got it.
Swisslid, you would go down into like rocks in the rivers a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, you can also you can do one more like charisma based roll if you want to get a little more information out of the guards, because so far the team has done a pretty good job of like getting on their good side, so you were able to get the map, you were able to get the rations.
I wanted to see if I could do a nature check to see like how difficult the pathing is in front of us. Like to get straight to Blair from where we are on the map.
Sure.
Like how difficult it will be.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, go ahead and roll. Yeah, I mean, I'll say, like, it's not that it's that difficult, it's just the paths are probably going to be better and faster than trying to, like, cut through it overland. Blair, it works at a mill, and that's why he stayed behind. Either he's getting people together or he's trying to get food and supplies for some reason. It's not entirely clear which.
Right.
But that'll be the piece you get for your crit fail.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the one at least I want to head to, because the more lives we can save, the faster.
Okay. Did anyone else want to do anything, or everyone's clicking the ready check?
Yeah, I am told I have to come along.
Yep. You've been hired and voluntold.
Conscripted.
Voluntold.
Yeah, I don't see my family here, so I guess I gotta move the tree, so I might as well go along with you.
Okay. Cool.
Mike, were you saying something?
Did I cut out?
No,
No,
Mike
we're
looked
asking
like
if-
he was miming something, but he's muted.
I think he was just laughing.
He keeps doing this.
Okay. What we're going to do next then is go into some kind of hack together rules I've done for overland travel. So someone is going to be responsible for any kind of intelligence check to actually do the mapping and the map reading. And someone else is going to do nominally a survival roll, but it could also be a nature roll, right? To handle like the practicality of like we are going overland. So kind of rectifying the two.
So when, sorry.
Oh,
When,
no, I was just... Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I noticed like people starting to do things with maps and stuff, and I worked with the coalition. I was actually a runner, so I was all about their trails and stuff and getting things places.
Cool. Yeah.
So I walk right over to like help with the map work and look at like find the best route to get us there quickly.
Cool. Yeah, I'm all about that. What were you saying, Riley?
Oh, I am a natural explorer.
What does that do for you?
Yes.
Me too.
Oh, snap. Wow. So basically when I was working with my crew and stuff, I was the scout. I would go scout out in forests and stuff. So I'm particularly familiar with the natural environment of the forests, and it disappeared. The party cannot become lost except by magical means in a forest. Difficult terrain does not slow groups travel, but only like in the forest.
The party cannot be lost except by magical means. Every DM's least favorite background ever. Okay, cool. Yeah, so right now I'm hearing it sounds like two people are good at the survival aspect of it, the wisdom-based thing, and one person is good at the intelligence-based mapping thing. Is that correct?
I think Mike
Yeah.
wouldn't Mike be smart intelligence too?
You would think that.
I don't
would
think he's ever been
I would
outside
be,
of
but
his tower.
Yeah, ask me about Arcana or History, and I might be your man, but we don't really go out here. We're a city bird.
So the other thing I'll say is, like, at this stage, you don't have to be trained. Like, if you're just like, I'm gonna help, you can help, and whoever's rolling gets advantage. But I'm just kind of curious, conceptually, right? What's the scene we see? So
Yeah.
those are gonna be our next two rolls. So let's figure out who's doing them.
Yeah, I think rather than take the role on himself, like Talon is like just helping Gus.
Okay.
Because like they both know the lay of the forest land, and so they're just like picking out the paths together. So mechanically, I just want to help his role.
Okay. Does that work with you, Gus?
Yes.
Okay, so you roll in survival, nature, or some other wisdom-based roll.
I can do survival.
Okay, cool. Damn. Okay. Yeah, no, that tracks very well. So that'll be for our next iteration. I'll have like the actual map with some of the progress you guys have made. I'm just gonna take down a little note somewhere. Apparently, I hid all of my post-its. Very clever, Dave. Okay. Cool. Yeah, no, that's an excellent roll. Actually, Riley, you did get a 20, but go ahead and roll again because you're getting advantage because of Talon's help. So technically, you could do 2 better. Cool. Okay. I mean, it's still 20, so.
Nice.
Is Katarina more wisdom or intelligence, or is she just raw power?
Unlimited.
Mostly raw power. Her
Okay.
wisdom is an 8 and her intelligence is an 11.
Nice. Okay. So she's just like watching out.
Cool. So then, Onion, you're gonna get to roll they're giving you a lot of feedback. They're giving you landmarks. They're telling you approximately how far they've traveled and when and where. Ooh.
I have bandit roots.
Ooh. That's a lot of fun.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I don't let on the knowing that like I was working with them, but just like I have this like I've heard of these places.
Yeah, so I'm gonna GM intrusion you here.
Uh-oh.
So you can definitely do this. You can. You have the knowledge and the know-how. But 2 things are going to happen if you do this. But I will let you go twice the speed because that will save you a lot of resources and greatly lessen your ability to get clipped by the fire. The first one is if you run into any bandits, if any of your crew sees what you're doing, you're taking not our people through our thing, right? So they might be unhappy with that. That's your call. The second one is you're with people who are studying maps and studying the lands. You're expressly giving them this insight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. I'm not working with the coalition anymore, so I'm just using all the knowledge I have to keep going.
Yeah, okay, cool. I mean, that fits your character a lot too, right? You're like, nope, don't really care. This is the thing I know. You can't take it from me. Cool. Yeah, that greatly speeds up your travel time. And then it also bypasses my first little scene. So the camera, as you guys... describe to me real quickly, like, what is this bandit trail that doesn't get seen? Is it like you have to go off-road for a while and it's not very obvious? Is it underground for a portion?
So what it is, it's like you have the main trails and then you have these little markers that like you have the forest trail and it's pretty well trodden. It looks like a trail, but then there's these little, what you would think are just scratch marks on like a tree, like trees or stuff as you're going by, and those are actually the markers of where to veer off to the bandit trails. It's following the scratch work on like the base of trees and stuff. Okay,
cool. Yeah. So I'm also going to ask Talon and Gus to roll straight wisdom checks. You get your proficiency if you're trained in them.
Is this a wisdom check related to the terrain or just...
This is just a straight thing that I'm telling you Amanda is risking showing you guys. Okay, so you understand. You're giving her feedback. She's looking at the maps and she's telling you to make choices that you do not understand. You're like, no, that's stupid. And she's like, no, trust me. And like maybe you argue the first time and she's like, no, that took longer. Watch, do this. And then it does go faster. And you're like, that was weird. That's a fluke. And then she does it again.
I'm on to you.
And again, yeah. And you, so you actually make it to Blair's mill in 6 hours when it should have taken you a little over 8. Like, both Squid and Zach's characters would be like, that's fast. That was way faster than it should have been.
And then I'm just like, I'm looking a little proud of myself, and it's like, I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As the camera is showing, like, the group kind of skeptical of Onion's tricks of the trade, right? The camera focuses on this massive tree that has been split by lightning, and it's fallen down onto the path and blocked it. That will force anyone who's coming down the path to go off-road, which will be very difficult if they're moving any kind of goods or injured people. But the party didn't take the normal roads, so you are not able to fix this problem.
We don't even know it's a problem yet.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. You do not know if it is a problem. Okay.
If a tree falls in the middle of the road and we're not there to see it, well,
Do people
is
die?
Is it even there?
Yeah. All right. Cool. What are you doing anything in particular as you approach Balir's mill? You can see just right the whole Don Quixote thing, right, where it's kind of spinning. Seems to be operational. Doesn't seem to be on fire, but you don't see anyone here currently.
Like as we come into like the clearing around like where the mill is, Talon holds up the bow in his hand as like a stop, and then puts his other hand down on the ground and is going to use primeval awareness.
Ooh. Yeah.
So,
what does this search for? Is it like normal or?
Yeah. It's so specifically with his it's he always looks for beasts because that's what he's trained to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna burn a level 1 spell slot for so within 1 mile of me, any beasts.
Yeah. There absolutely is. So I don't know if you're aware of him. He's a yak technically. So he's big, powerful, fairly old. Right. I don't know what he registers as, but kind of at the fringes of your senses. So not a full mile away, but good several hundred feet out. And how long does it last? It's like a minute or something? 10 minutes?
It's a minute per level of the spell slot, so just 1 minute.
Yeah, so even the minute you're kind of tracking this thing, you can feel it. You can't help but glance over at Katarina as you feel it stalking, right? It is a predator. It is a big cat out in the like low hills, kind of stalking Balir, or Balir's, abode here, and you're just like, ooh, I don't like that, because there's a beast.
I feel like there's this great little scene while like Zach's character is in focusing, and you just hear like the crunching of a seed, and Artemis is just reaching into his bag, just watching intently.
He's holding it. It's just like.
That. So they're a big old beast cat.
Mm-hmm.
I think at that point when he can feel it like on the cursory, like it's like almost like a tug. He takes the bow and then knocks a single arrow, and then like crouches lower to the ground where he's at, and goes, "You guys head on, see if there's anyone inside."
And I kind of
Artemis looks at you.
It's nothing.
Well,
sorry,
I'm preparing.
Let's get this over with then. And Artemis puffs out his chest and just pitter patters out into the opening.
Yeah. So we do like an establishing crane shot way off in the distance, right? Very very low sun, like twilight, golden hour, right? As everything's just bathed in this like dark red and umber, and and the alarm goes off. As we see this pokey little bird just kind of walking up to the base of the mill. Is the rest of the group following? Is the rest of the group hanging back?
So this is established as like a dangerous area. Is that what you made it known as?
I'm not sure that he has communicated that.
No,
Okay.
he didn't. He was just like, he feels this like unsettling presence when he focuses, and so he's holding up and just waiting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guess I go with them.
Yeah, Artemis just walks up to the door and just pecks like 4 times, and it's like, "Excuse me, you."
Yeah.
Wait, do birds in this world answer doors with headbutts? Like, is it just wham, wham, wham?
Yeah.
That's how I
So-
imagine it.
The birds have like armable things.
Oh, we
It's
do.
Just Artibus is not very adept at that.
Artemis, he can see the old ways.
He
Yeah,
keeps
no,
to the old. He keeps
that's
to his
the thing.
kind.
Like, I'm thinking about it, like, if you grew up as, like, the main appendage being your neck, because of how powerful it is, like, wouldn't you knock with your face?
Yeah.
It's very personal. To knock any other way is really kind of rude, to be quite
Yeah.
honest.
It's a sign of disrespect.
Yeah. So you knock, and you know who's in there, and you don't get a response immediately. Do you find that to be irksome, or are you patient?
Artemis just starts slamming.
Yeah. Right. And you hear, at a distance, he's like, "I'm coming!"
Artemis looks back to his companions. He's like, "Dear folks, so rude."
Yeah. And you just hear, like, heavy hooves, right, slowly up the stairs. And he throws the door open. I mean, probably... Did you, like, step back when you were telling them that, or does it almost hit you?
I think it almost hits him.
Yeah. He throws the door open. And
Didn't
he's-
expect it to open outwards.
Right. Yeah, and he's like, "I have things to do."
Now listen here, you upstart, and he peers up at him,
Yeah.
puffs out his chest, and is like, "You have been ordered to leave the area."
Right. And he narrows, he says, "And how do you expect to feed everyone?"
Artemis sticks his hand in his bag and feed myself quite fine, thank you. Now,
No,
if you would
my God.
hurry along.
Right. He's like, "Want to be useful? Come down, load up the wagon." And he just turns around and starts clopping back down.
Katarina follows him.
Yeah. Cool.
Artemis lets himself in to
Yeah.
the house.
Yeah, that's fine. He left the door open. So it goes down like half of the circumference of the mill, right? So some 20-25 steps. And then you can see he's loading up like some garage, basically. So the way the mill would be built is it's built up into the hill a little bit and exits out the back, just through like a set of double doors and everything. And I haven't looked at enough of the art to know, what do they typically use for like beasts of burden, or does he have to drag his own cart? Since
It's
he
humans.
is, yeah, it's human. That makes sense.
Want to make it clear that Onion is following along, made sure she was the last one.
Just looking.
What would they use as beasts of burden?
Dumber versions of themselves.
Well,
It could be one of those hand carts where you just stand, it's almost like a wheelbarrow, but a little bit bigger, and you stand in front of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a pole cart.
Yeah,
I feel like
I think he's just gonna have to drag it then, because he's got
Yeah.
like a covered wagon essentially filled with like all of his sacks of grain and everything. It looks like he's like, you can see dark bags under his eyes. He's talking very slow. He looks like someone who's run himself manic, and now he's at the point where he's like, there's nothing left to give.
Artemis will test that theory by looking for any wine in his house.
Wine, oh my goodness.
What? Or whatever birds drink,
Wine.
Water.
Probably wine.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a perception. I mean, so is anyone actually helping him, or is everyone just helping themselves to his
I'm
stuff?
actually helping him.
So can I do this thing where like I'm helping, but also trying to see if I can
whoops.
pocket anything?
It's a +0, not a +4. I hit the wrong P ability. It's a 9.
9, okay. Yeah, I mean, yes. He might see you, but yes.
Okay, yeah, I want to, like, go to put stuff on the car and maybe go to put stuff in my pocket.
Mhm.
And then yeah.
So the thing you run into...
One for you, one for me.
Yeah.
The thing you run into very quickly is, like, he's like, no, not that, put it down. No, not that, but he's like, those bags, this cart, we're bringing food, right? Like, he's not moving out. He's trying to make sure there's enough supplies to get everyone fed in Tree Place.
Oh, what a nice dear man.
Yeah. So those of you who are actually helping him and not just trying to steal from him, go ahead and roll either a strength check or athletics.
Am I rolling because I'm kind of helping?
Well, it depends. Like, are you going to steal flour, or are you trying to be like, look, this box of, gold, you need that brought with you?
So it's like I'm moving the stuff that he wants on the cart onto the cart, but if there's something near the stuff we're moving as well, I'm trying to take that.
All right, so roll with disadvantage.
Okay, what am I rolling?
Strength or athletics.
Well, my athletics is a -1, and my strength is also a -1, so I guess I'm rolling athletics.
Okay, so yeah, you did poorly. Yeah, you probably grab a bag, see something, your eyes get fixated, and you're doing that thing where you're walking but your head's not looking, so you bump into someone, drop the bag, stuff spills everywhere, he starts hollering. The jelly bean's doing a really great job of supervising and telling people they're doing great, because he's 20 pounds.
You guys are doing great.
Yeah.
Hey, have you eaten today? You want a good berry?
So while he's stopping to yell at her, Katarina just like carries all the rest of them and packs them on.
Yeah,
with her 20.
Yeah, Katarina is doing the job very well on her own. So yeah, the flour right goes everywhere, and we use that as the scene cut. We do, unfortunately, timing for Zach, go back to Talon, who is arrow, bow, hunched over.
Yeah, Talon's just been sitting outside rather than walk into the mill, and he's just still waiting and like trying to like very carefully watch the like forest circle, and then just watching everyone else as well. Like load up and everything because he's aware that like there's something here.
Yeah,
and he's just worried that like it's going to attack them.
Okay, so but he's not going out to meet it. He's not stalking it in his own way. He's just keeping.
He's like in stalking it in that like he's waiting to show up. And then, like he's like basically sitting right there at the edge of the tree line, and like he's just hunched down.
Sure. So the one thing I'll say, and I don't think we're gonna get too far into this next. Oh, I'm sorry, I turned off that stupid map thing again. Hold on. Cool. Cannot get what I want. Boy, there's no good way to balance these. Yeah, I'm gonna just apologize for missing the rolls earlier, everyone. So I'm just gonna freehand this real quick. So we've got like the edge of the woods. And you guys would have come out of that, right? Because you came out of like the bandit path that like took you that way or something.
Yeah.
And then the mill is. Oh, I wish I had not reset the fucking color every time. It's so obnoxious. The mill.
Where are you
like...
drawing this?
Oh shoot! Sorry, I forgot you guys have been on that other one the whole night.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Whoa.
I mean, I haven't done anything with it, but it does occur to me that I should probably put it there. Yeah, thank you, Mike. Right, so the mill, and then...
Beautiful.
Yeah. I'm an art major. The idea is that, like, it's... Right, there's like a series of low hills and everything, right? That are built into everything. So this is totally fine. I just want you to know when you did your reading, you felt it from obviously past you, right?
Yeah.
So most of the party is currently not red. Most of the party is in here. They're gonna bring the wagon out that way. because they have to bring it back, but that's where it exits from the back of the building. And currently, you are somewhere in this area.
Okay.
And if you want to stay there, that's totally fine. But I want you to know, because likely the danger is going to come from here.
Yeah, I think he's moved up to that hill that like they're going to be pushing the cart out of.
Yep. Okay.
And he's just like sitting at the top of the hill with an arrow knocked.
Okay. Cool. No, I think that's completely fine. That is my world-class drawing for what's happening here.
It's very good.
Thank you. Cool. Yeah. So like, there's not a lot of interest in running. Like the failure here is really like you guys are already very, very far ahead. To gamify it slightly. You shouldn't have had you really shouldn't have, in my initial conception, the ability to save this guy, right? Like the bad thing should have happened, and it was your choice if you're like, well, do we want to drag this cart around with us, right? Like you've made it so he can actually live potentially. So it's cool, and that's why we play the game, right? To see what happens. So I was the point of all that was like, well, one successful check for loading the wagon isn't enough. The point is like the wagon is now loaded, right? It's just only Squid is really helping. Everyone else is terrible at it.
I'm trying.
Artemis is observing.
Yeah, exactly. With that in mind, I'm gonna cliffhanger the ending. So I'm wondering if there's any other scene or any other conversation we want to have before we get to the thing.
How long is like passing? Like, how long of a time period are they like taking to load a wagon up?
Yeah, I mean it's not terribly long. It's probably something to the tune of 20-25 minutes. The only thing that sucks is like you're going to be leaving at dark.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna have to put out a light or a watch or something. Because he was doing it alone. It took him longer than he expected.
I think like in that like interloping time period where he's watching, there's also a moment where he Talon uses one of the spells that he has that's called man, I lost my page. It's called Glimpse. It's like I have to find it because I'm dumb.
No, it's fine. Look at that dark vision.
It's elevated sight.
Ooh.
So it allows him to spot 120 feet above him, and in a 360-degree view, as if he's like he's a bird flying.
Oh man,
so,
that cuts deep.
That's so sad.
So the way that I envision it is that like he closes his eyes for him, and he feels like his communion with Chalamet, and in that moment, like he can fly over the forest, and he's not like looking for the beast that like he knows is in front of him. He's checking on the fires. To see how far away they are.
Sure. Yeah, so I think that when you kind of like reach out and reach to those senses, obviously they are growing and obviously they are coming. Go ahead and roll me a nature. You can roll it with advantage.
Yay.
Nice. You've got the opinion that you're somewhere 3 days or over, but probably not 4 days. From this location, so moving into them is certainly dangerous. But yeah, like you've got a really good head start, especially for how quickly and decisively the group moved.
Yeah, I think like he doesn't say anything about it. He just like checks on it momentarily, and once he can see where the flames are at, he cuts the connection again.
Sure. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, and like the way the movie would be shot, that would be the moment that the like. Balir's got like the yoke on him and he's right like dragging the cart out.
Yeah,
potentially the party pushing. I don't know.
You got Artemis trying to ride it.
Yeah. Artemis is like eyeing up a seat.
Yeah, he's like, that's good, Beast of Everden and all that.
Yeah.
We're all messed up.
It's classist, that's for sure.
If they try climbing on it, Katarina will just pick them up by the scruff of their neck and put them back on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Artemis has quite done that yet, but he is thinking about it.
It's also not going to be comfy, but that may not stop him.
I'm just walking with it.
Sure.
Staring around.
Yeah, I mean, as is tradition, right? So did anyone else want a scene, or were we all pretty content to let the action begin to unfold?
I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, so he gets the wagon, up and out of the thing. He begins turning it, begins dragging it up the hill, and he's like really straining at this point, right? Like he's huffing and puffing, his eyes are, wide. Probably lets out a little bellow as he, starts making some progress because he's like, maxes out. It's just kind of holding its equilibrium, and then he slowly, painfully takes one step forward and then another, right? And I don't have a sound clip ready, unfortunately, but a large and vicious cat beast, lynx, maybe mountain lion, right? Something with paws real big, camouflaged. Yeah, stalks slowly through the edges of the trees and just lets out one big growl. Not like I've been spotted, but like all of you should flee for your lives, right? Like the same way that a dragon flying overhead would scare a human, right? In the core of your soul. And then, so we do like a close-up shot of it as it's like, wild eyes glaring at you as it sort of ducks behind a tree into a bush getting ready to run out after you. And we just do like a quick shot. We can either do the group as a whole or snap to each person individually, depending on how you want to describe your reaction.
Artemis
ears
poops.
twitch.
Artemis poop.
What? Wow.
It's more natural in this world.
It's fine. Yeah.
I can't control it.
Gus.
Oh yeah, Gus's ears just kind of like twitch, and he's like, "Oh."
Yeah. No.
I've seen things. I'm not super phased. Yeah.
I'm tough.
I'm tough, but I'm on the other side of the wagon.
Yeah.
I think for Talon, it's the moment where like his vision pops back to his own. It's like his eyes go from closed to open as the cat like howls, and he just stares at it with the bow.
Yeah. Do we see you begin to aim?
Yeah. He's like pulling the string back, but he hasn't raised it yet.
Nice. All right. And Katarina?
Katarina hisses in response and suddenly has her shield and sword in hand.
Yeah, right. Just snap to instantaneously. Cool, yeah. And then, poor old Belier's pulling up. He's just like... not what he was looking for right now. Suddenly got a lot of energy to go very fast away from here at speed. But also very thankful that there are some people to help him, because otherwise he would be dead and eaten. Awesome. Cool. Thank you, guys.
He might still end up dead.
He may. It depends on what you prioritize and how badly this thing fucks the party up. We'll see.
I want to talk to it. I want to talk to it.
Thank you so much for joining me, Zach. Thanks for bringing this game to us and convincing us to give it a try. We'll get more into the nitty gritty next session, which will be in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Woo.
I've already burned 2 spell slots.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
We haven't even gotten into combat.
It's completely fine, Sometimes it's gonna happen.
Yeah, you gotta get like some sort of advantage though for setting yourself up this.
Yeah, he knows it's coming. Like he's gonna be able to make an attack on it immediately.
And the cat doesn't know exactly that you know.
I also don't have any like combat spells anyways.
Sure, yeah.
It's all like dark vision and other supporting spells. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm excited. I'm pumped.
All right. Anybody else got anything, or we're gonna do the thing?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, cool. Once again, thank you guys for playing. Special shout out to Zach and chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. I think we maxed out at 15 people today, which was nice.
Yeah.
So the game is called Humblewood. It's a skin or a hack of D&D. Works alongside it, like Zach said. It's a custom setting with a couple extra races and rules and whatnot. And
It's also beautiful. The
Yeah.
artwork is the best part.
yeah, they are marketing it to be very cute. I'm gonna make it very dark and feral.
That's fair.
As we should.
Yeah,
Well.
that's my way.
Cool.
Yeah,
This is the way.
this is the way. Well, cool. Thank you so much for getting out of here. And yep, we're back here in 2 weeks for more Humblewood. Back next week with other dark and creepy game, Ravenloft, also 5th edition.
Cool.
All right.
Whoop.
Bye.
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 Bye.